Hey everybody, what's up? ChiliVLOGS here, and I realized it's been a while since I did one of these. The last one I did was for Godspell, and that got me to thinking, you know, maybe I could just do one of these talking through my history with theater and music and everything, and how I got started and leading up to where I am now. That might make a nice little 20-minute video or whatever, just, you know, talking about stuff, you know. Me in my chair, and I'm not just gonna be sitting here talking. There's like, you know, the thing is, the reason why I decided this was a good idea is because there's a lot of visual aids and stuff that I can show you. It's awesome. It's gonna be like me talking. I'll just show you, because it's a lot easier than explaining everything, because I'll be doing a lot of explaining over the next 20 minutes or so. I don't know how long this is gonna be. Does it even matter? Who knows? Anyway, so yeah, back in 5th grade, I played trumpet, and that's what got me started, because I was like, oh, you know, trumpet, just blah, blah, blah. And then I played baritone. I was a low brass section leader back in high school. I actually have it on my class ring right there, if it will focus, maybe. Focus. Focus. Come on, camera. Well, you can kind of see it. And then, you know, on the other side, Lakeside Dragons, and then, you know. Yeah, it's my class ring. I've basically stopped wearing it because I don't know why I ever did wear it in the first place, but then again, the thing costs like $300, so maybe I should have, you know, maybe I should have kept wearing it. But no. So anyway, alright, so when I was a freshman, actually no. Yeah, when I was a freshman, Lakeside did a production of Into the Woods, I think, and I didn't go see it. I wasn't involved in it at all, because, you know, that was back when I thought of myself as a bit more of a, you know, shy person. You know, I'm still shy and weird and nerdy, but I realized that, you know, I now realize that I have a talent for this sort of thing, but back then I was like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, because I'm all... But yeah, so they did that, and then the next year after that, I forget what it was. I don't remember. But then, junior year, I was sitting in band class, and I hear an announcement over the PA system: auditions for Grease will be held this Friday, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, Grease. I like Grease. That was a good movie. There's a play. All right, I'm going to try out for it. I'll see what I can do, because, you know, I always enjoyed singing, but I would never consider myself the acting type because, well, you know, like I said, I was shy and awkward and nerdy. But I decided, you know what, this could be a good first step. You know, I'll audition for a small part, and I did audition for a small part. I auditioned for the part of Sonny, because A, he doesn't have any huge musical numbers. He's just kind of part of the chorus. B, he's never really the focus of anything, and C, well, I just thought he was cool. He wore sunglasses. But during the auditions, my choir teacher, the audition piece was Grease Lightning. So she had everyone sing it, and when she got to me, she was like, wait a minute. Could you sing that again? But this time do it a little bit gravelier, a little bit manlier. And I was like, alright. High me overhead, lift his head and 4 barrel quads. And I did the whole thing. My throat is really sore right now because I was practicing for The Wedding Singer, which I will get to. But it was that particular song that I was practicing involves a lot of screaming, so my throat's kind of shot right now. Anyway, so yeah, I auditioned, and she gave me the part of Kaniki, and I was like, oh, this is not what I wanted at all. This is not what I bargained for. And so, you know, I did it, practice, and then when comes opening night, I was like, okay, probably not too many people are gonna come, you know, it's a high school play, maybe 60 to 100 if we're lucky. I go out on the stage, and I'm greeted by roughly 400, possibly even 500 pairs of eyes. And that is the reason why I do not really get stage fright anymore, is because I had to get over it near instantaneously for that, and it just, you know, didn't come back. And the thing is, and The reason why I'm going so very in-depth with Greece is because it started a lot of the traditions that I'm going to now explain to you. Firstly, I always keep a binder of all the stuff. For Greece, obviously, you know, there's the, I got, you know, the cast list. Got the cast list right here. I got the, you know, got the scene changes, the musical numbers. I got the scene changes and the musical numbers. You know, Rydell, alma mater, and all this. And for some reason, she decided to print out a copy of every single song for everybody, rather than just giving people the songs that they needed, because I wasn't a part of every song. You know, Grease Lightning was my solo, and then, you know, I was kind of backup and harmony for a lot of other songs. And then another thing that I always like to do, and of course everybody does this because, well, it's just very handy. I always highlight my lines in the script. You know, but Grease was a very fun time, and I have a DVD of it, and I'll show you guys some footage from it right now, I guess.
Guys, here comes the car we just hit. There's the evidence, come on!
Hey, wait a minute! It's Kaneki! It's Kaneki. Oh, that's nice.
Alright, Dipsticks, put that stuff back on the car. Jeez, what a grouch. He was only hoping for you so no one swipe him.
Hey, where'd you get these cool bikes?
Hey, just you wait until I soup up the engine, give her a nice new paint job, she'll run like a champ.
This car could be systematic,
Yeah?
hydromatic,
Yeah?
ultramatic.
Keep talking!
Well, it could be grease lightning!
Grease lightning! I mean, already lived in 4 million miles, oh yeah. A few just got up and rolling around, oh yeah. And with the fire, you know, grease lightning. Go, grease lightning, you're running out the corner.
Grease lightning, go! Grease lightning!
Yeah, grease lightning, you're going.
And the thing is, watching it now, it's extraordinarily cringeworthy because my acting was terrible and so was my singing the entire time. Like, I would watch it and I'll just notice that during certain scenes when I'm not doing anything in particular, I would just be standing there doing absolutely nothing. Like no person ever does. So yeah, there was that. So I always keep a copy, so I always keep my binders of stuff. And then the other tradition that I have is keeping memorabilia from the shows. I always make sure to keep something. And for Grease, hang on a second. Yeah, an actual leather biker jacket that my uncle let me use for this. It's actually pretty awesome. I've considered wearing it as like a normal piece of clothing, but I can't really think of any, you know, reason to do so. But yeah, this is probably my favorite thing that I have from the shows. I love it. It's awesome. And so yeah, you know, Grease was over, blah blah blah. It was, objectively speaking, it was terrible. But then again, it was a high school play, so you know, it was gonna be terrible anyway. So after that, moving on, 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Yeah. Alright, now this is something else I should probably bring up, is that whenever I audition for parts, I never actually get the part that I auditioned for, except for this one time. This time was the once that I actually did get the part that I wanted, because I auditioned for the part of Douglas Panch. And Panch is the guy at the Spelling Bee who does all the word announcements and everything. And yeah, that was the one time. And I'll go in more in depth as to what I mean by that thing that I just said. When I go to do the rest of the things. Anyway, but yeah, Putnam County Spelling Bee. Now the cool thing about this one was that it required basically no memorization on my part at all. The entire script is right here. This is my script, and the thing is, I was sitting at a desk for the entirety of it, so I was just literally just reading off of the script. It was fantastic. And the other thing about this one, and this is, I mean, Putnam County Spelling Bee isn't my favorite musical, nor is it my favorite show, but this is my favorite thing that I've ever gotten to do in a show, was every night we would pick 4 members of the audience. We'd ask them before the show, hey, do you want to be a part of this? You know, you get to be a speller in the show. And we would get 4 people, blah, blah, blah. And so when I would call them up, I would give them, because we had to be very specific about it, there's a call-up sequence. We have 4 people, and you know, they get eliminated in very specific order. After the song My Friend the Dictionary, we call up volunteer number 1, give them an easier word we expect them to get right. Number 2, immediately after the first volunteer, we call up volunteer number 2, we give them a hard word, we expect them to get it wrong. In the event that the first volunteer gets their easy word wrong, we skip this one. Ideally, volunteers number 1, 3, and 4 are left, and it goes down like that specifically throughout the show. And the thing is, the reason why I wanted to be Panch so badly for this show is because it's hilarious what I got to say. This was the funniest show that I've ever been a part of. Well, I mean, I don't know, it's a contender. There's two comedies that I've been a part of, and they're both extremely funny. Oh my god. But yeah, this one had me laughing a really long time. So, for instance, like volunteer number 1 would get the word a poop. And we would instruct them, you're supposed to ask for for the word's definition and then its use in a sentence. And so for a poop, it was to go towards the back or to move astern on a boat. Guido, the Italian seasick sailor, said, "Scusa me, boys, but I'm gonna go a poop." Oh my god, it's funny. Or maybe oh, this was one of my favorites. Atheist, one who does not believe in the existence of God or the afterlife. Because she was an atheist, Susie did not mind the other children chanting, "Go to hell, Susie." Oh my god, I love this show so much. But yeah. And this was the last show that I actually did under my high school theater director, Andrea Trident. And it was a good show. It was definitely better, objectively speaking, than Grease. But Grease will probably always be my favorite musical just because it was the very first one that I did and it means that much to me. But yeah, this one was cool. I really enjoyed Putnam County. And for this one, I shouldn't have this. I'll just be real here, I stole it. But this is the bell that was sitting on my desk during Putnam County Spelling Bee. And whenever somebody would get a word wrong, you know, I would tell them, "Oh, I'm sorry, the correct spelling is blah 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 blah. You're out." And yeah. And I have footage from Putnam County too, so I'll probably show you some of that right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to our performance for you this evening. This is Vice Principal Douglas Panch here to bring you some pre-show announcements. For starters, please be sure to silence all cell phones and other distracting devices, and remember, flash photography is prohibited. In of an emergency, fire located to your front left and front right of the theater. With all that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Definition.
Its use in a sentence.
In a sentence.
And its language of origin.
Language of
If
origin.
you start to spell a word, you may start over,
But the sequences of letters already spoken may not be changed.
Your word is kinnikinnick.
Could I have the definition, please?
A tobacco made of dried leaves and bark smoked by the Indians of the Great Lakes region.
Could you use it in a sentence?
While smoking his kinnikinnick, Chief Littlefeather took in the serenity of his surroundings and said, "Here, we will put the craps table."
Kaninkanink. Wonder if I should try this.
Keep dreaming, buddy.
K-A-N-I-K-I-N-I-K.
Wow.
Caterjoon. Caterjoon.
That's correct. Fantastic. Mr. Garcia. Don't be shy.
Mr. Garcia, From Ron and Lisa's perspective, you need to wear colors that make your skin tone pop. That shirt is ugly.
Oh, this is an easy one. Your word is there.
Could I have the definition?
It is a commonly misspelled word on Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, Twitter.
Could you use it in a sentence?
They're going to build their house over there.
T-H-E-R-E?
Not even close.
No, let me breathe! Stop!
That's all you like.
I wonder why.
Swear to God! I swear to children! I swear to God I killed my child!
So yeah, now the thing is, like I said, I try to keep memorabilia from every show that I'm a part of. There is one, I did keep the stuff, but I can't find it. I've been trying desperately to find it because this is by far the most interesting show I've been a part of, and I want to be able to remember it years from now. But Transylmania was the last show that I did in high school. And what a show it was. In this particular show, the story basically goes that it is a high school populated by the children of all the famous movie monsters like Dracula and Frankenstein, the Wolfman, etc., etc. And in this show, I was Hotep, the mummy. He's like 3,000 years old, and he's still a student there, and so is his wife. I don't know. But yeah, so I was a mummy, and the thing about it is that it was the first student-run production at Lakeside, and so it was we didn't get actual funding of any kind. It was low budget, there wasn't a whole lot to it, really, and, yeah, the set was, I need to put that down. The set was in 2 parts, and so whenever we would have to do the scene transition, like from your point of view, you're in the audience, and I'll just do it like this. Like when we had to do a scene transition, the set comes back and comes apart, and so we have the stage and we can set stuff up. All right. And the thing about theater is that you want to keep scene transitions as few and as quick as possible. And our director did not adhere to. I need to shave. Our director did not adhere to this rule so well for one particular reason. There was a scene where there's some humans outside the castle, and that's also the whole story of it, is that there's humans in the monster world, oh my god, blah blah blah, and it's a story about, learning to love each other's differences and blah blah blah, and diversity makes us stronger, etc., all that. And so, there's a scene outside the castle where we have a bush and a rock and a sign that says turn back, leave, whatever. And so, our director, instead of just closing the curtain that comes up in front of the set and just having that scene in front of the curtain, which would have worked fine, it actually would have worked better because we have a projector up there and we can put a filter on it and it projects the moon and some stars and stuff. It's really awesome. But, yeah, she decided that it was not worth it to do it that way because she wanted the use of blue lights. Just because it needed to look like it was nighttime, so she wanted to use blue lights. She wanted them that badly that she was willing to delay the show's runtime by about 3 full minutes for the scene transitions because of the blue lights. And the other thing about this show, Transylmania, was there was a part where I was asking her and I was asking the assistant director, hey guys, I'm a mummy. Do you have a costume? Do I have to get my own costume, or do you guys have a costume for me? Bandages, gold, whatever. And, she was like, oh yeah, I have, some gold jewelry probably going to put on you. We're going to get you some bandages, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. So a couple weeks before showtime I ask, and they still don't have the costume. Okay. 1 week before showtime I ask, still don't have it. Okay. The day before the show, I ask, and they still don't have it. So I was really worried. The next day I come in to get ready for the show, and there is a 12-pack of toilet paper sitting on the table. So you can imagine how that went. Most of my costume was gone by the time I made it to the stage. So I decided the next day, because the next show was on a Saturday the next day, I went to Rite Aid and CVS and Walgreens and I bought tons of gauze. And the next day I actually did look like a mummy. The costume was a lot better. It was awesome. But yeah, so that is the story of the worst show I've ever been a part of, and I hope nothing like that ever happens again. Alright, so you know how pharaohs are typically depicted with these? Only, you know, not bright blue and yellow. Yeah, they made me this, and there was another one that was like a stick with some beads on it. Stick with some beads on it, came out this way, and I would be holding them like this, and I would do gestures and stuff. But yeah, it's just a blue and yellow candy cane, basically. So, alright. So now we move on to what I'm calling the Golden Age, because this is when I had left high school, and I went to college for 5 days, and then I came back because, you know, personal reasons. Anyway, so, the first play that I was in after high school, the first one that was actually good from both a technical, from every standpoint, it was actually a really good show, was a production of Larry Shue's The Foreigner. Oh god, everything's falling out of the binder. So in this production of The Foreigner, I was a character named Ellard, and Ellard Sims, he's kind of a backwoods, dopey sort of dude, and the thing about it was I had to, you know, like a fake backwoods accent. I was like, oh, where's Kath at? Blah, blah, blah. Well, you ready to say some words, Charlie? Here, hang on a second, let me just read. I have the script. Why do I need to bother to try to remember anything? Oh yeah, selling vegetables. Sometimes people sell vegetables out of the backs of those and blah, blah, blah. You know, that sort of thing. And the cool thing about this one is that, like, the script was this little book, right? And, you know, yeah, I could just do this. And this was my first production under my favorite director to this day, Steve. He's a really cool guy. He's you know, blah, blah. This is the pamphlet for the show, the promotional whatever. And for this one, obviously there was no music, so blah. This right here, actually, there's a part towards the middle of scene 2 where I'm doing like this mirror comedy routine thing with the guy who played Charlie, and Charlie is the main character, so, you know, this was kind of a thing, like, I would basically start eating my breakfast, and he would be copying what I'm doing, and I would stop and look at him and just kind of test him on it, and do different things like drinking the orange juice and then tipping a glass over, stuff like that. It was really funny. One time, the glass actually fell off the stage, and we just kind of stared at it for a little bit until somebody gave it back. And, yeah. That's the cool thing. And the coolest thing about this show was that there's a special effect at the end where there's a trap door in the stage. Hang on a second, I can show you a visual aid that's in the back of the book. We didn't do it like this, but basically speaking, there was a trap door in the back of the stage, and we had like a weighted ring around my Klansman costume, because that's the plot, is that the KKK come to kill him. And so there was a special effect where I went down through the trap door, and there was a leaf blower like billowing my costume, and because I was pretending to be disintegrated, like Think the Wicked Witch of the West, you know, like I'm melting. And there's a bit in the play where the guy Owen, he thinks Charlie is like a voodoo witch doctor guy, and he starts saying, "Oh, the bees come down, the bees gonna look through your bones," and blah 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 and all that. So we thought it would be funny if during this part when I'm going and melting through the trap door, I'd be screaming, "Not the bees! Ah, they're in my eyes!" Like that Nicolas Cage thing. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, this is my favorite straight play that I've been a part of. This, because there's no music or anything, it's just a play. But it was so funny, we couldn't stop laughing at the script all the way up until the very end. We even had trouble keeping it together on stage a couple of times. And let's see, what souvenir do I have from the oh yeah, right, from The Foreigner. Now, on the set, there's this cabinet where Betty, who is the innkeeper in this place, she's like she's kind of like your grandma. The innkeeper, she has like a spoon collection, and I got to keep one of the spoons. So then, that brings us to the next play that I was a part of, Almost Maine. This one I really love because, like, okay, it's the first play I've ever been a part of that was a traditional, well, it's not even a traditional, but it's a love story. It's actually 9 different little love stories all being told together, like scene by scene in tandem. And for this one, I actually have a lot of stuff. Here's the pamphlets. You know, dialogue and all the stuff. You know, the script, and I still have. The thing is, I had the practice schedule in my pocket, and it went through the washing machine. So, and I couldn't get another one because they were printed out, and I didn't have the file to print it out myself. And these notebooks right here, this is actually really interesting because in this play, there's 2 characters. I'm actually 2 different characters. The first one that I was is a guy named Steve. And the thing about Steve is that he doesn't have the ability to feel pain at all. So he spends his time writing things down in these 2 notebooks. Things that can hurt you and things to be afraid of, because he doesn't know what pain is, so he needs to know what hurts, so he needs to know when to be afraid. And during this scene, he's talking to a woman named Marvelyn, who questions him about these various different things and about his love life and everything like that. And basically, by the end, he is able to feel pain because Marvelyn gives him a kiss, and you know, she basically like awakens something in him. And the other character that I was a guy named Chad, and Chad is like, he owns a lumber mill, so he's very manly, and he's they're out going ice fishing, drinking a beer during this scene, blah blah blah. And the thing is, it was actually a gay scene. That was the love story. It's between 2 guys named Randy and Chad. They realize that they love each other, and the thing is, during that scene actually involves a lot of physical comedy, so I had like gigantic bruises all over my arms and my sides and everything from being, because during the Steve scene I got hit with an ironing board, had to fall off the back of a bench and everything like that, and it was, yeah. And then during the Chad scene I had to fall down, like completely standing up on the stage like 7 or 8 times every time we did it, so I had a lot of bruises, and those were there for a long time afterwards. But I loved this show because it was just, the ending scene is so, oh my god, it gives, just thinking about it now, it's so beautiful and perfect. I still have the music on my computer, I still listen to it. It's fantastic, and you know, I have pictures and everything that I'll show you. But yeah, Almost Maine. And these books are my souvenirs from Almost Maine, so yeah, I have those. Alright, and so, that brings me to the last production that I was a part of and am not currently a part of, which was Godspell, and I did a whole video on that. You can go watch it. I don't really need to explain much of anything about this one, except for that I got the cast to sign my book afterwards. You know, that was cool. And my souvenir from Godspell is actually probably my favorite. The music director who was working with us, she got everyone a little souvenir. She got our drummer a little guy with shades and everything. She got me a California raisin with a guitar. It's a California raisin with a guitar. See? But yeah. So you know, Godspell was fun. There's a link right here if you want to go watch the vlog that I did during that. And that brings us to the modern day. Amazing how time works. It's like it always goes forward and stuff. I was only going to be a part of The Wedding Singer because like I said at the end of the last vlog that I got that part, and that was I get to be Robbie. I get to be the main guy. It's awesome. It's my first starring role. But the bass player for the show that they're doing before The Wedding Singer, he's going to be out of town, and you know, he was a friend of mine. He was in the Foreigner with me and everything like that, and he came and heard me play during Godspell, so he messaged me and he was like, hey, I was going to play bass for Next to Normal, but, you know, I can't do it because I'm going to be out of town. Can you fill in for me? So now I'm doing this. I'm playing bass in Next to Normal, so I get to be a part of another show. It's awesome. And, yeah, I guess that's just about it. I don't know what else to say. I love acting. I hope to do it for the rest of my life. Even if I don't become famous for it, even if I don't make lots of money or whatever, you know, I still love it. I still want to do it. It's my favorite thing to do. And yeah, that's just about it. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about this for a long time. I'm going to make a vlog about Wedding Singer, but I'm not sure about one for Godspell. I don't know. Godspell. Next to Normal. That's the one that needs to... Maybe. I don't know. I need to shave.